But we had come back across the main chamber here. This area, this has been divided into all these different animal pens, all these different habitats spread throughout the room. Only one door on the western side of the chamber seems to lead anywhere. Seems to lead to anything other than just more of these little zoo nooks. And you had headed over there, Lizard Man, and opened that door to reveal a fairly long, square, tiled chamber, about 30 feet across, 20 feet high, illuminated with bright white light from 4 glowing orbs, just hovering in each of the upper corners of the chamber. The floor decorated with strange whirls, reminiscent of a tornado or a whirlpool of some kind. The center of the room, desecrated with more of these demonic sigils. These ones, however, much larger, drawn in blood, circled around a wolf. All of its paws bound as it's restrained in place in the center. And another one of the druids standing over it, incanting something. Power flows from the sigils on the floor across the tile and into the wolf. Its fur almost blood red. Visibly distressed but frozen and bound, the wolf is near motionless. And as the group of you open the door, the druid only incants faster, only hastens, speeding, trying to end this ritual as quickly as she can. It's clearly, whatever it is, taking hold. It's nearing completion. She's almost finished it. But as you move to stop her, an elemental, a creature of whirling winds itself, looking like a falcon created of raw cloud, coalesces in the air near her to come to her defense. And so, we'll roll some initiative. Those are, oh, well, everyone's very in step with each other, at least. You have a whole bunch of even 12s on the board. Everyone's prepared. Yeah, they all got zeros. They don't get to roll. Okay. And Doggy 20, and the druid herself with a 31. Alright, so as we lay this out here, Lizard Man will be going before the Blood Wolf as players win ties here. As this door opens and you all move to, well, Arbus, I believe, called out to stop this. The woman, seeing the group of you at the doorway, stops her incantations for a moment, turning towards the doorway with one hand, Sphira Flammi! And with a spell that you have seen many times before, well, at least a couple times before at this point, summons a rolling ball of fire that slides across the ground into the doorway and into Lizard Man here. Lizard Man, make me a reflex save. Don't get a 19.
27.
Much better. You got it now. You've seen this a couple of times.
I've seen this plenty of times.
You're on the page now. So you step back as this comes to block the doorway here, out of reach of the rolling fireball. And it does no damage to you. Flames don't lick forth or anything. Avoiding the bulk of the ball itself, you're completely unharmed. And the woman reaches to her back and draws forth her trident. Lizard Man.
Okay, I sprint forward to the woman. I'm like full sprint at this woman. I'm going to kind of duck under the fire, elemental bird kind of thing, and I'm gonna try and grab her wrist as she goes for a trident. I know she's gonna get a trident anyways, but that's what I'm gonna do. For just a strike. 21.
A 21 will hit.
And then I'm going to actually try and grab her.
Alrighty, so you hit her for 6, and then give me that athletics check and a -5.
So that is a natural 20, and a -5 is a 26.
Well, then consider her restrained. She is a
I
small
get behind her
priest
and
trying to incant some magic.
Yeah.
You're a big lizard.
You stop.
And that's my turn.
At the wolf, here in the circle, this ritual does not stop as you enter. He's starts to convulse a bit on the ground as the druid's attention is forced away. This energy still pouring into him from the runes, but unable to move as his skin starts to ripple and bulge. The bird here is going to slash down towards Lizard Man in defense of its summoner. It flaps down, almost spinning its whole body around, slicing a wing down towards you like a blade for a 31 on a natural 20.
Okay. I would reflexively pop my shield up. As I see that, I just bring it up. I have my other arm around the woman, and I would make it so that it didn't get my jugular there. It would just hit.
Well, it's natural twice, so it's still going to critically hit.
Oh, right. Okay.
And this wing is going to slash through you, passing almost through your armor, shearing a bit of it and cutting deep for 16 damage.
Okay.
Before it repeats this assault again. The second wing slicing for an 18.
And that by the time the second wing comes down, I can get my shield in front of the way.
As the second one grazes across the shield, it's going to take the opportunity to soar back across the room to the far wall, which you use reflexive block, right? So it does provoke, but you can't use a reaction. Which brings us to Selwyn. Fireball blocking the doorway here.
Can I acrobatics around it?
You can reflex save around it.
Right, well, good enough, I suppose. I will move through, rushing through the flames. Hopefully I'll get through without catching too much on fire.
Right, give me that reflex save.
Or 23.
Yep, you will be able to dip around the ball quite effectively. Your small frame making it easier to fit around it in the doorway.
And I'll run up to this wolf and cut the rope free and try to push it away from the runes.
Alrighty, so as you cut loose the binds with your sword here, the wolf immediately writhes, trying very much on its own to move away. It clearly does not have any interest in being here whatsoever, but it's got 2 sets of binds, one on each paw, so it's going to take you 2 actions to untie, at which point it will immediately, you can tell it's trying to scramble out of the circle on its own.
Alright.
Artis.
Well, that's me.
Okay, I also would like to try to get through the fireball. 3. Yeah. I'm gonna try to. Can I? You said reflex save. You
can
can't
take a reflex save.
All right. I'll do that then.
Because it does move slightly as you pass, almost with a little bit of sentience, trying to catch you. It's not simply still.
18.
With an 18, you'll be able to move through it, but you are going to be burned in the process. You're going to take 13 damage as you pass.
Okay.
Much less successful at avoiding the dancing flames and so on, unfortunately.
Ouch. And as I do, I come through on fire, patting myself out. I look at the druid and just anger as I put my hands at my side. I'm not saying nothing. Swirling cloud begins to coalesce above her head. Crackle of thunder, and then boom, tempest surge to her skull.
Alrighty, and she's going to make her reflex save.
Yes.
That is going to be a 22 on the reflex save. So
That
again,
succeeds.
lizards, she's so covered by lizards, so held here. A lot of the lightning cracks into the floor, but she's still going to take 7 damage from the blast. And Ara. You're muted.
As I prepare to mute, I figure out I'm muted. I shout out, I start incantating Nathium Gone. I slap Zerg on the back to give him Magic Fang. And I too try to move through the fire. So I'm gonna make my reflex save. I'm gonna pop this up for Zerg so he sees what it is.
Oh, he's gonna like this. I think he's gonna be a big fan.
Yep. Magic Fang on your unarmed strikes, your fists.
You got magic hands now.
You got magic hands and they're ready.
Fuck yeah.
And then reflex save through the fire for 21.
Surprisingly inflammable plant. That succeeds.
And nothing can outdo me in fire. I'm
Well,
gonna move.
well,
Nothing.
okay. I don't know about that one, but okay.
That's my turn.
Alrighty, that brings us to Zerg himself.
Zerg himself is going to combat roll through the fire in an attempt to look cool, I
Just
guess.
dive right through it.
Show no fear.
Zero fear.
It's
Magical
more afraid
fang
of you
fists.
than you are of it.
It's fire this week, whatever. Stronger than fire.
I take offense
Athletics?
to that.
Acrobatics?
Reflex save.
Oh, reflex save, right. That's an 8.
An 8 is going to critically fail. So, I mean, as expected,
Jumps into a
perhaps,
fireball.
from going to combat roll through a fireball, you are going to combat roll through the fireball. Be burnt very severely and take 24 fire damage as you
Okay,
roll.
how about I use my session reroll on that so I don't take 24
good
fucking
idea.
damage?
Use your session reroll.
There you go. There you go.
I should cast a different spell.
Okay, 11.
Oh no.
That regular fails, so
It's not
Better.
a
Regular fail's better than a crit fail.
it is in
Yeah.
fact. So you will take 12 fire damage instead of 24
Okay.
as you roll through the fireball, and then you're able to. You still move through it unhindered. It just burns you.
Trying to move my token. Oh, if you could just move there, that'd be
I
great.
assume it's like there-ish.
Yeah, that's where I was trying to get to. Yeah.
Ended up under Arbus. I got
Oh.
you. I got you. I know this
Oh,
page is
oh.
tough to load sometimes. I have you next between the wolf and the druid, basically.
That'll do. Do I have another turn? Is that?
You have that's only one action. Yeah, it's just a move.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
Okay.
the reflex save is just part of moving through the fireball. You still got 2 actions left.
Well, shit. Have I still got flame on me? I've still got some flame. I
It
just
doesn't
took
really
some
stick
burns.
with you. The magical fire of this ball, fortunately, is very contained. You get burnt by the heat as you go through, but none of it lingers after you leave.
Okay.
Not even embers on any of your. Well, I guess you don't really have any clothes. You just have a chainmail leotard. We've established this. Not even embers on your majestic mohawk.
Yeah. Well, we're going for style over pretty much anything at this point. Tumbling through the fireball, and Zerg's gonna rage out. Mohawk growing, hair growing everywhere, and raging monkey strike. The wolf.
The wolf?
No, this bitch.
The lady. Okay, the lady.
Yeah, I was sitting there like, the wolf
I was
is
like-
trying to get away, dude.
Yeah, that's a bad. Yeah.
She
Attack.
is currently
Hit-
very restrained by Lizard Man.
and 19.
19 will definitely do it.
Raging monkey strike.
Big old, what I imagine to be a flaming monkey paw. It's a regular monkey paw.
It's a very magical monkey paw
It's
still from
it's a-
Magic Thing.
It's a flaming monkey paw from Aura's magic.
There you
It looks
go.
like flaming magic.
There you
Different
go,
fire
yeah.
magic, source irrelevant.
Yeah.
And just a big old strike down, just across the chest. Is this a tall thing? Are they tall?
Well, she's a person, so yes.
Tall enough across the chest. Raging monkey paw. 13.
And it's gonna do
Roll.
another D10 on top of that because of the Magic Fang. So roll one more D10 even.
Whoa. Roll.
Magic
D-
Fang gives you
10.
another damage die. So 19 damage.
19 damage.
Just a regular punch. That is a goddamn monkey strike. And she is very restrained by Lizard Man. So, relatively limited here. She's going to concentrate for a moment and summon the fireball back over to Lizard. As it sears past Arabis as she tumbles through the door, Lizard Man make another reflex save.
Okay. 24. I know these.
Yeah, you're onto this now. You're not playing this game anymore. Done. And she is going to attempt to wriggle free. Guess
Good luck.
that's going to be an unarmed strike, because sure as hell not untrained athletics or acrobatics. So she's going to fight back. And as she does, though she is a relatively small woman, maybe 5.5 feet tall, dressed in these simple robes with light armor underneath, she has a ferocious strength as she pushes back against you, much more than you would expect. She's rather lithe. She doesn't look particularly strong. I'm gonna use the villain point. Use the villain point. Lippy caster, thank you. Hold on. I said she's rather lithe, but doesn't look particularly strong. But be a 16 to try to wrestle away from you.
And she's like too close. Like it's hard to get the momentum behind a punch to like actually do any damage.
So she is currently very stuck. She is going to try that again. And this further attempt with a 19.
Nope. Still, she just can't get any grip.
All right, well, you're up, and she's very stuck.
Ah, idiot. I'm going to. I have her grabbed, and I'm just going to bring my knee up. Pulling her down, I'm just gonna bring my knee up and just like right into the sternum. Good old. 23.
23 will definitely hit. So,
And I am going
7
to...
damage.
Yes, oh yes, for 7 damage. And then I am going to step out of this stupid fireball, continuing to hold her, and continue to hold her. So I will roll another athletics.
Okay, -5.
So 20.
Jeez.
Well, you'll do it. She has managed to wriggle somewhat free.
Stepping to the side was.
Yeah, you
know,
still got a hold of her. She's not completely restrained anymore. But she's at this point pretty injured, and you're still grabbing her.
and that's it.
Alrighty. And this wolf shies back away. All the way back into the far corner here. Almost nestling itself into the corner, whimpering as far as it can. Just back away from everybody, from the center of the room, from everything that's happening. And as he leaves the circle, the light in these demonic runes on the floor fades. The sigils go dark, leaving just the dried blood they were drawn with initially. Their energy wholly gone. This bird, however, is going to continue to attempt to lash down here as it sees 2 people just going in, and it's not particularly wise, so it's just going to fling at the closest of the 2 as it swoops down towards Zerg, spinning like a whirling saw blade into you. The first wing slicing down for a 30.
Oh dear.
And
What do you want from me?
the second
It just cleanly cuts off his head.
second as it spins into you, wrapping back around for a 27 on a natural 20.
Oh my god.
Did those both crit?
What do you fucking think?
Before sailing back through the air to its original position. The first strike of this bladed wing hitting you for 20 damage. And the second for 10. How much health do you get when you rage? How much natural armor or bonus health?
Oh,
6.
I get 6?
6?
Yep.
Okay.
Alright, so
Roll plus con modifier.
you're gonna end up about there, fairly injured by
Yeah.
the sentient flying saw blade that is this whirling, blendered bird
That was a little rude.
sailing back
Just
to
a
his
little bit,
original his original position, and then continuing to sort of orbit around the outside here, eyeing towards Lizardman. And as he does, Wolf 13 red, throwing me. I still have 1 villain point left from him, throwing me back 1 more. Fill me back up. I got 2 and they're
Wow.
both his. Thank you.
Comes
Well, you got
full
5
circle.
and they're all his. You don't get to
All
talk.
right.
Selwyn.
Is that air elements within reach if I move up to it?
Yes. The room here is about 20 feet tall. It's it's about 10 feet off the ground. So actually, no, it is going to be just too high for you.
All right.
It's going to be just out of reach, really. It's near the ceiling. It's swooping
Well,
down.
in which
through the
case,
back
I'm going to
and
kill a
back
druid. I hope it disappears.
up. All right. Druid's flat-footed, and also you're flanking, so it's double flat-footed.
Yep. It's not going to have a good time. Clara, do your thing. 17 on the first attack.
17 will hit.
All right.
And,
For 7 damage.
And that 7 will be enough to finish her off in her injured state.
So Lizard is holding her tight, and I just come in, toss the blade from the normal position to like a backhand, and just cut the throat open, and she bleeds out.
Just drops to the ground. At least you have 1 action left.
It does. Since the elemental doesn't seem to be disappearing, I'll stare at it very evilly. You're next. We're at 29.
Oh my god, I don't know.
It is frightened too, as it sees you simply drop its summoner with such ease. Regardless of its own successes, it is sentient enough to be worried. Aravis.
There's a lot going on there. Okay, so my initial focus is on the wolf that went into cower in the corner, but my focus is needed elsewhere. Shift back, see the hits that my friend Zerg is taking. Hold up my hands open like this, close my eyes as I start to walk towards the action, and you start feeling like almost like your eyes are closed in the rain or something. And as you feel these raindrops, you start to heal up a little bit. The wounds start stitching together as I cast a heal from here.
Okay. Zerg gets some health.
That's there.
15 health
15.
from the first level heal. That does a pretty good job of making him look a lot better, to be sure. 1 action.
And I walk up to here.
Ara.
Okay, so seeing how Zerg has taken a lot of damage, Ara does the only thing he knows how to do. He flings fire at the elemental. So I'm gonna elemental toss.
All
I'm
right.
gonna do that for 27 to hit.
Jesus.
27 is not going to do it. I'm kidding. It obviously hits. You would be.
Okay, we're leaving. Everybody has their
I was
side.
At least you had a misunderstanding.
Nice.
No. 27 will hit. It will not be enough to crit, but it will.
Well,
hit.
with the frightened 2, though?
Not with the frightened 2, not enough to crit.
Darn.
Oh, it's still 11 damage.
Still gonna take 11 damage. And
And
the
then-
creature, this elemental, is quite small. It doesn't have a lot of mass to it. And as your magical fire blasts through it losing a pretty decent bit of its mass. It doesn't seem like it'd be able to take many hits.
And then I look back to Zerg, and I clap my hands and cast second level heal on him as it emanates from where I've already touched him with magic. For 2d8 plus 16.
Everyone's just channeling all their healing in his Zerg.
All of a sudden, he's in better shape than he was coming into the fight.
I almost lost all my limbs.
Or 24.
24 health back. You are actually better than before the blade hit you. Where you feel all the pain of this thing slicing through you, but with Aramis and Aura behind you and canting, your wounds are stitching together faster than this elemental can make.
You feel the coolness of the rain hitting you, and then you feel a warmth of fire coming from within.
Zerg!
Air high five.
The R squared.
Well, I feel much better. Holy shit! What was the time difference between me getting hit and me getting healed?
Well, a round is largely simultaneous. Basically, from the top to the bottom initiative, we resolve it in order of who gets to react first as like a tactical advantage of initiative, but it's all basically happening at the same time. So like as this bird is flying through, slicing you, they see it coming, start casting their heals, and they are actively counteracting this thing spinning through you like a blade.
So like a total of 6 seconds.
Oh,
it all happens
something
within 6
hurts,
seconds.
but I don't know what. Stings kind of everywhere a little bit. I feel okay though. All right. Initial. I got hurt by that thing. I'm gonna grab that thing. I'm gonna run and jump to grab onto the elemental.
All right.
Yes.
So this running and jumping and grabbing it is all 3 of your actions, because the
That's fine.
jumping up is 3 actions, or 2 actions, and the grab is 1 midair. So you get 1 shot to make an athletics check to grab the cloud. He did it. Okay. So
22.
you. What a 22 is this thing is just trying to back away. Sir grabs it out of the air.
Jump, grab. Now, do I pull it down with me, or is it
You
strong enough to hold me
absolutely
up?
do. This thing is near weightless. You
beautiful.
100% pull it down. It's still trying to fly up away from you, but you have it grabbed. It's lizard man.
Excellent.
I'm
As
going
the
to run
fireball
up next
fizzles
to
out
Zerg,
next to you.
Run up next to Zerg and try and grab one of the wings off of this stupid air bird, because I'm sure that's how it flies. With a good old 26.
26 will, okay, he's flat-footed and frightened too. 26 will hit. Still does not crit.
Well, I would assume not.
Yeah.
And for 9 damage.
You would assume now with -4 on his AC. Fair. So this thing clearly, as Zerg grabs it and Lizard is slashing at it, it has a physical form. Though it looks like it is just wind, it's much like the Mephits you'd battled before. There is still a physical corporeal body that you can grab and damage, that you can rip through as this thing starts to fall apart.
So I've got my hand on the one wing, I grabbed the one ring, and I'm gonna try and grab the other one and just, kind of tear it apart a bit. Only a bit. Aha, natural 20 though, a bit. So
A
31 -4, but yes, natural 20.
Yeah. With a natural 20, that's gonna critically succeed.
And
Just slash it for 12 damage, and there's barely anything left of this. It starts to fade, more becoming almost just a flare of this cloud, this thickened mist with just these slicing blades spinning around it more than a bird at this point.
And I'll just look at up in my claws as these like really wispy feathers just kind of float away and disappear, and I'm like, what? What?
And it is going to lash down at the pair of you. Obviously, it's being grabbed, so attack 1 is going to be aimed at the insane gorilla that's currently grabbing it. The first blade lashes down towards you for a 20. Does a 20 hit?
Yeah,
You're
you.
muted.
So sorry, I thought you were talking to lizard. Yeah, yeah.
A second blade towards Lizard Man with an 18.
And it is just kind of discombobulated. It can't really get.
And the
Reach
last, spinning a third towards Zerg with a 17. Only going to be landing one of those. And this far less dangerous than the ones that hit you with before, only dealing 6 damage this time, Selwyn.
All right, listen. Wait, Sark, hold him down. I'm coming for the decapitating strike. Claiming the glory.
Tiny little bird.
Oh my god, 3 of you.
And I move over. And I'll try to decapitate this with an executioner swing. Wait, 21.
21 will do it.
I swing off this stupid air elemental's head, and I imagine it all goes into like mist.
It pretty much does. It blasts less into air than it does almost a gel. Nearly invisible, very thin, half-liquid mass that split in half just plops onto the floor, clear, and splattered across the tiles.
Well then.
All right, Gray, I think it's time for you to calm that wolf.
Before you even say it, I'm already walking that direction. Hands at my side, to open hand to show I'm, submissive, just like to animal. And I'm going to just look at him and say, hopefully he can understand me. I see you are hurt. There's no reason to fear us. We don't mean you harm. Let me help you.
And this beast, this wolf here, whether or not it understands you, it certainly does not attack. It shies back away from you in fear. And as it's pulled away from this ring and you come towards it, a lot of the coloration, that blood red in its fur, has actually faded and gone back away. The skin stopped rippling and bulging. It looks now much more like a normal gray wolf that you would just find in the nearby woods, though a bit larger and with some errant streaks of red spread throughout its fur. As you get closer, it looks up at you, fixes you with its eyes. You can also see it's got 2 pinpoints of a faint red glow in the center of each eye. It doesn't growl. It doesn't seem to be hostile towards you at all, really. It's just shied back into the corner, clearly afraid.
All right. And when I get as close as I can, I'll let him take my scent. I'm not trying to touch him or do anything hostile. Just show him. And if he will allow me, put one of my hands on him with the brand new glove, a calming animal glove, possibly calm him down a little bit.
So as you hold your hands forward, his gloves on, very slowly leans out, keeping his nose a couple inches back from you to sniff. And as you reach forward towards him, he jerks his head back a bit before just lowering it down almost to the floor, almost sinking below his haunches. A little defensive, a little cautious, but allowing you. And you touch a gloved hand to this wolf's head. Now what?
Just reassuring wolf pets. Can I see if he's injured at all? Or is he just fine?
He does
now?
not appear to be injured, other than the fact that he was bound in that circle and restrained and couldn't move. Whatever ritual was taking place was happening, but he doesn't appear to have been hurt at all. Far from it, in fact. The opposite, even. He looks exceptionally strong. Like I said, even a bit larger than a normal wolf at this point. As if some part of the ritual that was completed has still infused him with some power. He looks remarkably well off. Almost unsettlingly so.
Hey, Gray?
Yes, Selwyn.
If an animal is suffering and it needs to be put down, would you take that step?
I will do what needs to be done, Selwyn. Why?
Because I think that other panther, leopard, whatever it is, probably, and I'll gesture towards the circle, had the same thing happen to it.
But he
And-
was not saved before ritual, probably.
Exactly, and I believe he should be put down. I think there's no coming back from whatever that is.
But how do we know?
How do we not? If we don't, we risk it hurting others. Possibly Atherton, given everything that's happened here.
Well, if we find the head druid guy, wouldn't he know this kind of stuff? Doesn't he know, like, all animals and whatnot?
That's true. We should at least wait until we find Reginald. I mean, he's still... Panther's still sleeping, I'm sure.
I mean, the cat is all tied up and in another cell, so...
I don't trust whatever ropes we have to keep that thing in after what it did to the fence.
That's
True,
the
but
one
if
that
it's
almost
also
killed me,
tied-
right?
Yep.
Yes, that's the
Why?
one.
Why are you letting it live?
Revenge is not your way.
It's not revenge. It's safety of us, of everyone we know.
If somebody was making you do things you did not want to do, would you want us to kill you?
Yes.
That is... Let me ask someone else, perhaps. Zerg, if someone was making you do things you did not want to do, would you want us just to kill you? Or would you want us to try to help you?
You wouldn't be able to, is a moot point.
There's...
I'm unkillable.
He is very unkillable.
I think the campaign so far has demonstrated he is in fact
I'm
unkillable.
just gonna look at Selwyn and Lizard like I can't make my point. I don't.
I think you're looking to the wrong people for wisdom.
It's fairly secure right now. If we can't find the guy in, like, the next hour, I guess I could go kill him. But, I mean, I already went through the effort of tying up this stupid cat.
I just want to try, okay? I just want to try.
What if we take long to find Reginald? That beast sneaks up on us and bites us again. It was really hard to spot in the first
Yeah.
place.
I am here. I am the Stormborn. I will protect you.
You didn't protect me.
Are you alive?
Almost wasn't. Everything went dark.
Almost
very
doesn't
quiet.
count. Only in certain games does almost count, Dara. Does not count. Right?
What games?
That game sounds awful.
I don't know any games that you would know. I wasn't allowed to play many games when I was young.
As you're talking here, the wolf kind of slowly paws up behind Arabis, and you would feel a bit of a wet, cold touch at the back of your knee as it just sort of noses at you.
Oh, hello. Look at you. You're very big now. Very healthy. You're free. Do whatever you want.
I don't believe that's the best idea.
Why?
But because if you let it outside, there's a chance it falls off the cliff. And there's no real way back, and there's probably not that much natural food, and even if there was, there's those slug creatures. I think it's better we enclose it while we figure the rest of the stuff out.
Reminder that hanging from wicker baskets all around the walls of this room, because this happened kind of right as the site exploded, are bone and wood and wicker, basically dog toys everywhere around it.
Aw.
This was clearly a play space that has just been defaced into a ritual chamber.
It's true. We could keep him very safe in one of these large cages. There's food, there's toys. And you're right. When we get this all figured out, we can do what's return you to the wild in a safe way. If that's okay with you. I mean, I would hope, trust me at this point.
As he still has his head kind of down, he never really picks it up to look at you or anything. He just kind of huffs a bit, pawing nervously at the tile in front of him.
I gave him a dog toy.
You could give him there many dog toys around the edge of the room. You have a whole selection.
Zerg's gonna reach into his pants and pull out what's left of his meat. Is a treat for your dog.
Now.
Ah,
Just throw that to the wolf. That's the last of Zerg's meat. He finished the rest of it. It's really good.
So you plop this on the ground. I mean, the wolf is absolutely going to sniff toward it and just have at it.
Good
biting
doggy.
into the mass there and ripping through it. What's left of, I believe, an entire leg of pork, whatever remains of that. Putting his front half of his body down to gnaw at the bone in the center of the thing.
Well, he looks
Oh.
pretty heavy.
we should find one of these cages for him to wait in while we find Reginald.
Yeah, we'll put him in the one that's not next to the other cat.
Yes, very good idea.
I think we should close this whole area off and then not allow the cats to even have the chance of coming in here.
Also good idea.
So
The reason not to give him this entire room, right?
It is the room that he was tortured and whatnot in, but I mean, I'm sure he's fine.
Probably one of the enclosures with the trees and the dog treats. Would be
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Cool. So we'll put him over there. Perfect. Now I
Like
have
I
to
said,
go
all
find
the
that
all
other
the
guy.
access of these other pens is perfectly easy from this side. Like you're on the side with the mechanisms. It's not difficult to open up any of these and find somewhere to put this wolf for the time being. It's just a matter of what kind of habitat you want to put him in. Torches illuminate most of this area, and you've got forests, denser and lighter. You've got some areas with simple dirt or sand spread across them, some with larger rocks. On the eastern half of the chamber, you have a couple of the areas that are enshrouded in darkness. They're sheltered a bit away from the light of the torches, so the pens stayed dimmer.
How about as a act of good faith, we open them all, and I tell him he can choose which one he likes to go in.
If you can make him understand, sure.
He will. I think he understands me. The other creatures were cut off to me somehow, probably because of ritual.
If you don't mind, I'm gonna go pull a panther into a shed and close the door, and preferably.
I was about to walk off in that direction
Just
too.
Throw this panther and just pick a pen here.
Yep. Smack that door closed. Bar it as best I can.
Just seal him up with that. And now kind of makes a little more sense why that wire was looped several times around the door of the other enclosure, although the iron fence was completely toppled by their incredible strength. So Arbus goes around, opens a bunch of the various doors here, and you tell him this wolf.
I think you should choose which enclosure you would like to go in, and know that we will come back for you. We have to save someone. We have to save them first, like we save you. Then we come back, and we can leave.
And as you open them all and tell that to this wolf, you see him kind of, his head still sort of hanging, look around a bit, sniffing, and then with a brief, high-pitched whine, he just walks right up to you and boops your knee again.
I did not speak with animal today.
I don't speak wolf, but I think he wants to come with you.
You want to come with us? Don't want to stay here. Can I glean anything out of that from?
Maybe an extra check.
All right. $15.
Out of 15, I mean, you fed him, which is always a good way to get animals to follow you forever. But also, you have this empathy. You can communicate with him. He clearly did not want whatever was happening in that other room. That demonic ritual is something he wanted to be a part of. And now you clearly different. He understands on some level, however basic, that you saved him from that. From something bad. And with nowhere else he knows to go, really. He's just kind of following you now.
You got a good boy. He's a good boy.
Okay.
Not as good as Cubby.
Okay, then you will come with us. But you got to be careful now. Stay behind. Okay. Be a good boy.
It's a bad idea. We're risking the wolf's safety.
If you wanted to coerce him into one of these pens, it would not be difficult to do. He's not like fighting you or anything.
I give Selwyn a nod, kind of like I'm just telling him what he wants to hear. We should put him in one of these.
What are you doing? You head in and Wolf follows after you into this small little forested enclosure.
Yeah, close him in.
You step out and close the door in front of him.
I'm sorry.
He immediately kind of puts his nose between some of the bars of the door and just huffs, sniffing a bit, sort of pawing at the ground again, anxious.
I promise you, I will be back. This is for your safety.
I'm gonna go grab some dog toys from the other room.
Oh, okay. And you gather up a couple, maybe a whole basket's worth of toys just down off the wall and dump it in the enclosure with them.
If there's a dog bed, I'll pick that up too.
There haven't been any beds or anything, but this area is not just tile. Most of the pens around here have bedding and little areas of straw or hay already from the rest. It's set up in a way that looks like it's very much intended to be comfortable for the animal, and a whole lot of care and thought was put into it. These are not haphazard by any means. Although they all seem to currently be empty, they're still in the state they were left, which is pretty well maintained.
Cool. Well, I'm glad the dog is safe. I guess we better go find this guy, and then we can come back and get the dog.
And kill the panther once it inevitably is irrevocably corrupted.
Save the panther, Selwyn. Save the panther.
I don't trust it.
To move back down this hallway, you hear some high-pitched whining from behind you, the scraping of claws on the metal bars of the door.
No!
The wolf realizes he's being left behind.
I'll be back for you.
Stay strong, wolf.
Every time you go to the grocery store.
Yeah.
I'll get left behind at some point.
It's actually happened to me, yes.
You return back to the dormitory hall along the northern side of this hermitage.
Okay, so we want to keep going around this way? I'm sure it probably loops around.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, perfect. Tick, 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 tick. Open all the doors.
Yeah, opening every door as you pass, just ensuring there's nothing left behind you that could be possibly threatening. Every single one of them just seems to still be more dormitories, more individual chambers. Nothing more, nothing less, with one notable exception being the door up here in the top left corner, which clearly leads to some privies. Also not super interesting.
Hey, sorry, next time you need to get a cleansing. There's a second place for you to defile.
So as you move down here, opening each door as you go,
I like this.
you do notice that one door, the one door on your left here, is actually already opened. And, well, less open's not a good word. More absolutely demolished and laying here in the hallway in front of where it once was. Ripped, smashed from its hinges, broken in half on the ground.
Could I tell if this is if it's ripped from a windstorm, or if it's ripped there's gashes in it from panthers, or if
Well, what are we all doing as we proceed out here? Are we going back to everyone checking these rooms, except for Ara's detecting magic?
Yes.
As you look at that, go and roll me a perception check, Zerg, and Selwyn, you can as well, as up at the front here.
Right. Un momento.
27.
Zerg is the
And
most
Arabis, if you're
perceptive.
seeking, you can roll one too. Everyone except Ara, because he's detecting magic.
17.
Oh man.
Whew, 29.
So all of you would be able to see that there are some fairly deep gouges in the wood of the door, what appear to be massive claw marks. And Zerg and Arabis would also notice that these definitely do not align with anything like a wolf or the leopard from the northern end here. In fact, they don't look like they were done by paws. The arrangement of them looks like it would be more clawed hands, and fairly large ones at that.
Okay, well, I guess I'll, can I switch to shield to
Yeah, you
raising
can
my
switch your
shield?
space actions whenever you want. You can switch them freely. This isn't like meant to be a restrictive system. It's just like, just stop us from 27 people roll perception checks when
gotcha.
something happens.
Okay,
It's
I'm gonna
just a
peek my
ticker of
head
like
around
who
this door.
qualifies for what checks, basically.
I'm gonna peek in here and see if I see anything.
As you come in a peek around the doorway here, you see what was clearly a library that must once have been magnificent, with tall wooden bookcases lining the room's walls, many of which have been pulled over and thrown on the ground. Books of all types and sizes spilled all across the carpeted floor here. There are occasional statuary busts decorating some of the cases that remain standing. Others have been knocked over and shattered to pieces. The floor is carpeted in shredded paper and torn parchment. And where surely tables were once used to study ancient lore, they have been smashed, flipped upside down, their legs ripped and broken off as well. And as you look in there, you can pretty clearly see the source of all this nonsense. Another one of the horned demons that you had seen down at the Church of Abadar in town. Another one of these is currently tearing a bookshelf apart in the opposite corner of the room. He does not appear to immediately notice you. He seems to be fairly preoccupied with his wrecking. But, Lizard, as you're up here, roll me a perception check.
Okay. There you go. 17. 15. 17?
7. Yeah, that's weird. I don't know why I rolled twice. But 17. We rolled the first one there. I don't know why that rolled 2 times. Give me 1 second because I completely lost my face in the PDF. I have to jump around so many places. It's everywhere. Where am I freaking looking? Here we are. Clearly the demons are responsible for all of this wreckage in here. With a 17 there, you can also hear more noise of splintering and shattering wood. While it's kind of echoing through the chamber, muffled a bit by the carpet in here, you can hear another one around to the left as well, even if you can't currently hear it. Or see it, rather.
Ah. So there's probably 2 of these things. What do you guys think? Any plans? I whisper to Selwyn because Selwyn is like probably the plan person.
I'm just gonna whisper past Zerg.
Yeah, well, Zerg is, he's good at other
Playing a
things
good ol'
beside plans.
Well, if we're engaging in it, we should all rush at it and then hopefully surprise them. Bring it down before the second one gets a chance to react.
Okay, perfect. Sounds like a plan. I guess I will rush in at that one.
So as you rush the door here, recklessly forward with your shield raised, your clawed feet digging through the wood and paper splinters on the ground, the noise does pretty immediately attract the attention of the pair of demons in the room, who cry out, roaring in rage, as they turn to face you.
And that works so great.
That
Good start.
is going to be, well, I got you 1 square further in the room. That is going to be some initiative.
Ooh, hot 20.
Natural 20.
Fucking thing. Sorry. 10.
Ooh.
Or did it take the 16?
Yeah, the boys.
What's the plan? What's going on?
They are still smashing the place, so
From what I saw, I just saw Lizard go charging into the room.
that is exactly what's
Not
happening.
to worry. Just gonna kill some guys.
Arvis and R got no part of that plan.
Alrighty.
It's okay, you'll figure it out soon enough.
I'm gonna scroll this over and you'll be able to see the side of the whole map, and I'm sorry, chat, but it's on the edge of the map and that's what happens sometimes. Selwyn,
Right?
at the edge of the door here, the first to react.
And I see this demon, right?
Yeah, you can see the one through the doorway.
I would like to telekinetically fling one of these nail boards at its face.
There's a lot of stuff on the ground. Bro.
Yeah. And while he's not prepared for 24.
Definitely gonna hit.
This will nail him for 10 damage. And realizing that in my eager to bring this down early, I did not spend the time I maybe should have to figure out what makes these guys tick. So I will try to recall knowledge using what I imagine is religion, which is a +6.
It is in fact religion, says the GM screen behind me. All right, let me see. +6. You are clearly demons of some kind. I mean, that much at this point is apparent. But as to what, you're unfamiliar.
Okay.
All right, lizard man.
Okay, I rush forward over to this corner, and I am going to smack this guy right upside the head. Oh, natural 1. That was fairly unfortunate. I think I'll use my session reroll there,
Okay.
because that was can't possibly get any worse. Aha! It did not get worse. Okay, so that's a 27 to hit.
27 will hit.
And I just kind of am trying to slice across for 9 damage. And then I am going to brace for impact because I know these guys hit hard. So raising my shield.
Zerg.
Muted. Zerg is going to immediately run in after and attempt to suck a punch to the back of the head with this fucking thing. I assume it's facing Lizard Man at this point.
It is. I would have turned and followed Lizard Man as he came in the room, still with a huge mass of just crap in its hands. Broken wooden chunk of bookcase.
Run in, punch to the back of the noggin.
All right.
22.
22 will hit.
Just a poof on the back of his head. Does it notice me?
I mean, I'd say it would notice you, yes. You are
It might not.
exactly...
It looks very preoccupied.
Well, you punched it in the head, so it definitely notices, yes. Give me your damage. Give me that unarmed strike damage.
That would be an 8 to the
Nice.
back of the
Max
head.
damage master. One action left.
And then I'm gonna try and punch to the back of the head and then immediate grab if I can.
All right,
with an
athletics at a -5.
21.
My God.
21 is not going to do it. As this thing, you remember from the chapel, they are phenomenally strong. The 21, as you reach to grab it, it just kicks back with one cloven foot, pushing you back away from it before you can get a good grip here.
Does is there still flat-footed for not going first?
If you're a rogue, it's a rogue class feature.
Okay, so it's only rogues. Okay.
Yeah, it's actually it's rogues only now. The one in the
nice.
back here, seeing Zerg and Lizard Man run into the room, just picks up half of a shattered bust that it was currently destroying and chucks this stone statue across the room directly at Zerg for a 19.
Zerg's able to somehow squinch up against the wall as that flies past him.
That is gonna reach down, grab a bit of broken table, and just chuck that as well. And a big piece of table flying at you for a 22.
Okay, well, he aimed at the wall that time, so Zerg fled up against the wall, cops a table to the face.
And
I did so good!
that's gonna smack you for 9 damage as it just splinters across you, already pretty heavily wrecked by their presence. The other of the demons here is very angry at being clawed and punched and is pretty generally upset at what's going on. And he is going to lurch forward towards Lizard Man, not with his horns, but with his jaws. And he's going to try to bite down on the same shoulder
Rude.
for a 20.
And I remember this, and I kind of, he bites on, but he just bites like shield, and he kind of lodges his jaw onto my shield. So it does not actually do any meaningful damage.
And as he bites down on the shield, and you manage to block him here, he uses both claws to rip and tear at the boards between him and you. Clearly very angry about the fact that there's a shield in the way. And that is going to be, well, he's just mad. It's a 12 and a 12.
Yeah. It's tough. I'm in a corner, and there's like a lot of stuff around. Doesn't really do anything.
Doesn't seem to be able to get a good grip at it. So he is going to try again, tearing at it with a 26 and a 20.
The first one hits. And the second one does not.
Alrighty, and he is going to deal 13 points of damage just to your shield.
Okay. Let's
None of that
look.
spills over to you. You still get its hardness against it.
Okay, let me look at my shield stats. Okay, well, 13, the hardness
3
is
probably.
3. My
This would
HP is total of 12, so...
So it's down to 2. So as he bites and pulls and rips with both claws, he tears your shield to pieces, leaving a bit of wood from the back of his barrel lid still strapped to your hand, but not enough to meaningfully defend yourself. Your shield's broken.
Okay.
Arvis.
I am going to. Getting past counts as 10 feet in the hallway.
They're a bit small, right?
This hall, they're both small, and this hallway is wide enough you can just walk past them.
Right, good. As I would like to move past, catch a gander in the door before I finish my movement on the other side of the door. And, okay, when I get here, 2 actions left. Can I hold out my hand for a high five guidance to the next person to go past me into the room?
No. It's one action. Yes, you can ready it. It is a one action spell. Yeah, you can ready to cast guidance to the next person who walks past you. Absolutely.
Okay, that's me.
Ara.
You're muted.
Always muted. I have no idea what's happening in this room. I just hear fighting, so I'm gonna
You hear
walk in.
explosions, wood being destroyed,
It's
roaring.
5, 10. Oh, that's a scary room. Yeesh. What did that just walk into? That was 5, 10, 15. I'm gonna walk all the way down this side. And then just fling a little fire at the one at the top.
All right.
Yeah. Maybe 26.
A 26 will hit.
It's 11 damage.
All right, for reference, I don't see that roll, so roll 20s, roll
Yeah,
20.
me neither.
It freezed out for me, but I have it in the chat log.
Oh, yeah, I believe you're fine. I believe you.
Yep.
So 11 damage into the northern demon here, as he's reaching down for another just chunk of anything that he can throw here. My connection to the server has been interrupted. Fantastic.
Same.
Selwyn, you're
Same.
gonna have to try and describe well what you're doing. Roll 20 just crashed. Not a good day to flip Pathfinder on the internet.
Yeah, I'm trying to reload it. I'll walk past Gray, high five as I come in. Go,
Okay.
Excuse me, coming through. Hero in making. And I'll walk down to the side of Lizard and Cirque, where the demon currently is, and I will
Sweet.
twin faint.
Completely stuck in the corner, surrounded by enemies here.
And then hopefully once I get in, I can roll. Should I just do like a D20 roll online?
Yeah, just roll and tell me what comes up on yours. Like I'm not.
No, because I'm not in. I tried restarting.
Oh crap.
Well, yeah.
I can
big
roll for
mistake.
you. I can roll for
Yep.
you.
So,
Well, I have your sheet,
The-
so I can just click on it.
yeah.
You
Well,
just have
I'm
a-
in
oh.
now.
Ooh, nice. Good job.
Do you have a
How'd-
twin feint
That's
button?
ours.
Yep. I had no, just make a normal attack and then use the sneak attack because I have them set up right.
Okay. So you are going to get a 28,
And I'm back in.
which will hit. Okay, that was your first swing. So you hit him for 6 on the first swing, and then give me the feinted swing.
I shall. For 14, and I'll use my session reroll for that one. For an 18, but he is flat-footed.
18 will do it.
And I hit him for 11 as I come across with the first strike coming above, very, very obvious. So I strike across him, don't get that much damage in. And then with the dagger-like grip, come in and hit him in the abdomen.
And with those 2 hits, Lizard Man, you guys are successfully bullying this thing to death so far. Now,
I am.
as we come back around, it should have been someone's initiative, but I was very distracted by everything being broken. As we come back around the top of the round here, as Ara throws this little fireball out so effectively towards the northern demon, there is a lot of shredded parchment and paper and loose dust through the air. Ara, why don't you just roll me a d20?
Am I setting things on fire again?
Yeah, you are. Well, I don't know. Roll me a d20.
Yay. Huh?
I said, I don't know. Roll me a d20. We'll see.
1d20. How about a 10?
Do you see even the small produced flame flash and start to catch little bits of parchment and paper around, but it doesn't seem like it's enough to start a larger fire and become a bigger threat than that. All right, Lizardman.
Okay. I am gonna just go for this like weird, hideous face here.
It's not nice to talk about Zerg that way.
Well, I didn't appreciate it either. So just for 16.
16 just barely is gonna miss as he has his head down on your shield, and you can't really get past these huge gnarled horns perched on its head.
I will. I'm gonna try that again for 17, but -4, so 14.
Hey, 14. You just can't get an offense through him while he's India. With your shield getting turned around, you're really off balance here.
So what I'm gonna do is what should I do with my third? I'm going to try and there's this like ruined bookcase here, and as it ends at the wall, I'm gonna try and take cover behind just some of the like broken out.
I don't think
planks
there's
of wood.
enough here for you to take cover. But there is a smaller sectioned off bit of the library to the south of you, where an archway leads through to a small reading room that looks like they haven't gotten around to just destroying yet. So you could move through there. You wouldn't be able to step.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be able to be the flanking bonus either, so that's fine. It's okay. I'll just sit there then.
All right, Zerg.
You said bully, and it put a fun thought in my mind. Zerg's gonna push this guy over,
All right.
right into Lizard Man.
He's already leaned over, eating a shield. Give me athletics check.
17.
The 17. That's not going to critically fail, but it's certainly not going to be near enough to topple this hulking mass of demon.
Okay, so sort of leading up against him, trying to get him to move over. Hunched over, Zerg sees a piece of that table that was flung at him. He's gonna pick that up and just try and swing it at the guy.
All right, give me your normal attack roll here. And
14.
yeah, you pick it up and you swing it. Pick up the table leg. You just whack him with it. It's just it's not nearly enough to do any real damage. Doesn't break it or anything. You just whack. No reaction whatsoever.
This is not working. I'm gonna try and drive it through him.
All right. Well, picking it up is an action and swinging.
Oh, and then okay, yeah, cool.
So this team at the back of the room here is gonna just fling another handful of shattered wood. It looks like a pretty decent chunk of an entire bookshelf down angrily towards Ara. And this is gonna fly at you with a for 17.
Right on the little nose.
And that's going to hit everyone's favorite little wooden potato for 9 damage. And you look up from this bookshelf slamming into you to see it charging across the room, head down towards you.
Oh, bring it.
These are not words you say. And his jaws are gonna come down before his horns do, as he can just about fit your entire dumb little head in his mouth.
That's rude.
He's gonna bite for an 18.
Ouch.
And it's only gonna do a further 9 damage. But I need you to make a fortitude save.
I can only make so many 9s. I can only take so much. Fortitude. Speaking of 9s, I think this session rerolled the fortitude
Okay.
for a 19 instead of a 9.
Still fails though.
Yeah, but it's better than a 9.
As he bites into you, his jaws ripping across the wood on your head. As he pulls back, you can immediately see these little branches and everything on the side of Ara's face just twist and gnarl, like bulbous, darkened roots. It looks like he just put a huge wooden cabbage over his head, and frankly, it's hideous.
Wee.
The other demon, very stuck in the corner, unsure where to go. He's not really phased by this orc hitting him in the back with a small wooden stick or just leaning up against him who hasn't done anything. He is a little phased by the stabbing from this small thing next to him, and he's gonna try to eat it. So he's gonna lean down to Selwyn, biting for a 31.
Holy
Uh-oh.
shit.
That is going to be a crit, sir.
Ooh, baby.
I know
As he
if it's
bites
crit.
down on this small gnome for 32 damage.
Oh, well, I'm down to 5.
You should make me a fortitude save.
Fortitude, what are you at? 14.
And he is going to follow that up with a claw also down towards the gnome. He doesn't want any more of this. Swiping towards you with an 18.
That is going to miss as I duck under. I'm too small for this man.
He's got one more. The other hand coming up from below with an 11.
And I step back, like I do a little duck and then a back step.
And as you
That's
get
this
back
first
away from his
one.
jaws and they pull back, you can see Selwyn about looks like Two-Face right now. One half of her face hideously swollen and warped, much like what had happened to Zerg and Lizard Man before, with these, but not nearly as severe at the moment, but a clear, deep red, what looks almost like pustules. But you, Selwyn, you can feel of heavy, knotted, hardened flesh down the side of your face. You may have
Just the
taken
world.
damage, but the worst is that he made you ugly. Arbus.
I am in a strange predicament here.
He's right next to you. He's not
Yes.
paying any attention to you. No, he's very mad at the potato.
Very big
Well-
you've gotten.
Oh, that's right. You said AOs aren't the same in this, so I can get into the room.
Well, I mean, it depends. It's just that arrows are not an inherent thing. Like, it's only if they have them. Not if they're not
Oh.
automatic.
Oh boy.
What are you doing? What's your reaction?
I hear Selwyn's in trouble. I'm going to try to come into the room. Does he have it?
He does
His
not.
thing?
He doesn't
Okay.
turn toward any attention towards you at all as he continues to savage Ara's little gnarled face.
Woof. I'm gonna come to here and
Dog's mad he got locked away.
look at Selwyn in trouble and close my eyes. And you start feeling little raindrops as I try to heal you from a distance.
I want to feel a lot of raindrops.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's good, but we'll see here.
10 health. Do you only have
Thanks.
first level heals prepared?
I only prepared ones. Yeah.
10 health to Selwyn. Ara, you feel your head get heavier.
And my brain thinking's not as good. I'm gonna Burning Hands directly in front of me. As a level 2 spell.
Uh-oh.
That'll definitely get him.
So that's what it is. Which I need to add 2 more d6 on top of that.
Let me
Yes.
reflex save this nerd. He is not fast. I'm gonna be an 11 on his
So-
reflex save. Does not even, like, hardly attempts to dodge it at all.
So it's gonna be a total of maybe there it goes. 11 damage. Plus
12
2.
damage.
So 12?
So you did 9, and that's
9
3.
plus 3. Nah. Plus 2.
Yeah,
So
14.
14 damage. Okay.
And then
14 fire damage, and then roll me a flat check real quick.
Oh yeah. My favorite part of this.
We're gonna burn down every touchdown.
Yep. Roar.
4.
There it is.
Well, the good news, he's up above you, and this Burning Hands is mostly up. And it seems to have missed the worst of it, though this seemed almost guaranteed to start a fire. There's not enough stuff up for it to catch.
And then I am going to be a little potato coward that I am, and tactically hide over here.
He runs back in a small reading area to the south. Selwyn,
Yeah, I'm showing here in the making. This was my little tormented fish.
Oh gosh, we have to
Uh,
deal with this again.
I love it.
Alright. We're gonna try to defend this thing in front of me. Uh-oh. Come on.
Uh-oh.
Please, roll 20. Oh. 21 or 17.
Well, that's
Whichever you-
that's 2 attacks for a twin fate, right?
That is true.
21 hits, and a 17 hits flat-footed. So you just need to add a
Well-
d6 to that, I think.
Yeah. Sweet.
Get
Minimize
What
how many
kind
dice
do
you
you,
make
uh,
roll 20 roll because it's mega
Yeah,
laggy.
yeah, it is really, really, really slow. I heard the rolling. Didn't
The
see
internet
the-
has
Oh,
holistically
there you
gone
go.
down today. Like
Another
all
free,
of, all
so
of
for
the
a total
internet.
of 19 damage.
Alrighty, and as you lay those into him, the first of these demons reaching towards Selwyn now, you fight back with your swords, and he is dark blood oozing from all over. But he's got you for the face in prime stabbing range. It won't take
Yes.
much more to bring him down. Lizard man.
Oh, wait, I still have an
Oh,
action.
you have one action left, my bad.
Yeah. Current favor steep old.
Run!
Hi, someone.
I'm out
Furnace
of
High
corner!
five.
Lizard
Someone
man.
runs in. High five.
Yep, I'll five
I'm
and I'll hide
going
against this
to
wall.
I'm going to try and slice this man, and hopefully bring him down with a 20.
20'll do it.
9 damage. So I finally, like, after Selwyn kind of stabs this man, he's taken some pretty good hits, and I can see some soft spots in where his skin is not keeping together very well, and I can kind of reach through and kind of start grabbing things out.
Oh my god!
Oh,
Do you prep
Why
the most
you like
savage
this?
things you can do? and
Well,
then
he's not
say
gonna remain alive when that happens, so
Ah.
he's dead. 2 actions left.
And then I'm going to really don't have a shield. Kind
Not
of a
know.
problem. I am going to step over here, move over here, and then take another swipe at this other guy. Better
Minus
if they
4.
die faster, is what my plan is.
You don't need a shield. You just got a board on your arm now. Does nothing.
Yeah. I clicked. Oh, I clicked. And there was a natural 1 though.
Natural 1. Yep, that's
I
not
dropped
gonna-
my claw. No.
Zerg.
Drop your call.
Tried and true method, Zerg is going to run at the fastest possible speed he can and attempt to spear tackle this guy into the wall.
Yes, through the wall.
Alrighty. Give me athletics or an attack roll, however you want to have that come across. I will let you dealer's choice on that one.
Oh, no, well, okay. I meant to click it once. I think I pressed it twice.
We'll take
Fucking
the
roll
first one.
20s. Bugging out on me.
24. As you slam
24.
into him, going for the spear tackle, you knock him and slam him into what's left of the bookshelf next to him. As he scrabbles a bit before pushing you off. Even that unable to take him down.
Punch to the goddamn head.
All right. Zerg does not have good luck with these guys.
25.
-4, 21. 21 will hit though. You got him.
21? Oh, there you
Yeah,
go. Excellent.
21 hits.
Nice.
Zerg's got really bad luck with these demons.
So Zerg comes barreling into him. He gets knocked into the bookshelf and Zerg's pushed back a little, but that momentum is just enough to come back and rear a fist to the face for 6 damage.
All right, that leaves you with, actually that's 6. You had to move over to him. So that's, as you punch him for 6, he turns, reeling towards you. Who hit him? Did you hit him? You didn't hit him, Lizard Man. Towards you, the potato has run away. He's angry. You stand between him and the potato. And he is
I'm not a chew toy.
mouth wide, fanged maw, chomping down towards Zerg for 30.
Oh my god.
The hand comes up in defense, but he takes a big old chunk out of whatever it is he's biting at.
Does that critically hits you, doesn't it?
I think so, yeah.
I think you're
20
exactly
AC.
20. I think it's exactly a critical hit. Mm-hmm. So he's gonna give you a good munch for roll 20.
I heard it roll.
Yep, 32 damage,
Oh.
Still living.
which he is going to follow up as you throw your hand up, just with a backhand of his for a 15.
Disrespect.
I feel it. How much was that second attack for,
A
sorry?
15 to hit the backhand.
Oh, yeah, no, the bite was enough to make Zerg realize that he's in danger. He dodges out of the way of that.
And as you dip under that, he brings his other claw down overhead. Roll 20
How many attacks does this guy
for
got?
a 15 as well.
No bueno, no dice, another dodge.
Arvis. And also he has 3, like everybody else. He has 3 actions.
Worried about where someone went. I can only deal with what I can see, and I see Zerg is in a lot of trouble.
Zerg
so
is
I'm-
barely standing after that, but he's
I'm gonna
not
try
He's
to-
doing it. But I also need you to make me a fortitude save real quick, Zerg.
Oh, baby.
Oh, yeah, not again. Zerg doesn't want to be ugly.
Not again.
Skirt behind him, fumbling in my bandolier for some salves and some quick things to keep the man on his feet. I'm gonna attempt to battle medicine Zerg.
Alrighty, give me trained or expert, because still medicine check.
I gotta go expert.
Go big or go home.
Yeah, he needs the help. He needs it now. 24.
That'll do it. 2d8 plus 10 health back to Zerg with some quick medical attention.
$18.
Well, that helps. He still looks pretty well injured, but it definitely is a start. That the wound ripped open by the creature's jaws is a bit knotted and swollen and hard to close properly, but not nearly as bad as what had happened to him before, as it seems Zerg's own strength is refusing to let that happen again.
I still got one more left.
One left.
Yeah. One more left. I put my hand on his shoulder now and say, now finish it, mighty. Guidance.
Ara, as you're in the corner here, you feel your head just kind of swelling and nodding further. You can see whorls of the own wood of your flesh and the edges of your vision.
I'm drifting at this point, just from the weight. There's too much weight on my head.
Listing sideways.
I step around the corner after hearing some mighty chomp chomps, and go look at Zerg and it's like, ooh, that's disgusting. And I'm just gonna.
Zerg's barely like at all.
I'm gonna use a first level heal on him.
Alrighty.
Just call me Heal Battery. So it's
D8
1d8
plus 8. Yep.
plus 8. I know. My brain was buffering like the internet is right now.
I don't know why the whole internet's down today. 11 health back to Zerg. Once again, the 2 healers attached to him, keeping him together as he dodges desperately to stay alive. Selwyn, you can feel the flesh, just the sheer weight of it on the side of your face, sagging down, pulling at the skin of your temples and around your ears.
Well, I'll say a small slurred prayer as I'm moving to the fray. For another swim faint.
No
Once more with feeling.
Fear status 0.
Nah, there is a lot of fear. I'm just trying to
Status
fight
100.
through it.
Desperation status 100.
22 on the first hit
22 will hit.
for 9 damage as I swing from above. I use the same strat I was using on the other one that seems to work so well. These demons aren't too
Why
smart.
do you swing from above your gnome?
Well, swing from below for 9. Not doing so well this time.
And 9, you're gonna land the first, but not the second here. Bring us the lizard man. This injured demon in front of you, surrounded by your injured allies. And you start to feel a heavy fatigue on you as this battle wears on. As if your energy is kind of flagging a bit.
I'm just gonna lay into him as hard as I can. Ooh, this is exactly the fatigue going here. I do have a hero point from Jastron though.
You have 1 hero
So I
point.
may use that. Because, we kind of need this guy to die sooner rather than later.
Alright.
Ooh,
Oh,
yes!
baby.
Jastron! You
That's
are
value.
the Jastron.
What a
at
hero.
The energy. Okay, so 31.
Crits.
Nice 9 damage. Doubled.
18 damage. Near
And then-
enough to rip him down on the spot.
And then
Last
second
hero
hit.
point well spent.
Ooh,
Oh,
second
baby.
hit.
Oh!
20.
Back to back.
Then what do you do?
I at this point I'm just going for like the same way. I'm just going in, but instead of with his mouth like going opening to go towards Selwyn, I just punch up into the back of his head as his mouth is heading towards Selwyn, and just claw like right into the top of his mouth.
2 back-to-back 20s today.
Wow.
2 of them
Yeah.
from the party. Is this last?
Jastron is actually the hero here.
The real hero.
As this last demon drops, you feel this kind of this fatigue, this bit of exhaustion wreck through you, as it just feels like it takes so much effort for you to move, really. And Arbus, as all the crunching or breaking of wood and stone falls silent, both these demons drop into dark, oozing pools on the ground. You as well feel like it's difficult for you to catch your breath. You feel a bit overwhelmed, almost like you just can't breathe quite right.
Oh, no. And then I remember something. No. I look
What
at
is
a
it?
light on my arm. I remember I took a crypt a little while ago.
You look down to where the ghoul had bit into you, down below, struggling to catch your breath. Both you and Lizard Man almost feeling this wall of fatigue hit you as you've dragged through now 3 battles today. Still early in the morning, but far more exhausted than you should be. Wondering what that might mean. With that, we end our session for this week, leaving hopefully these frickin' monumental internet issues behind us. To continue again next Monday. The Hermitage of Cursed Lightning, surely at this point. Starting to unveil more of what's happening here, but still no cause, still no reason. Up on the northern end, we found druids infusing fell abyssal energies into animals, the product of their corruption, those burning leopards. And here, more of these hulking demons lurking within the furthest sanctums, of the Hermitage. The druids clearly abiding this, but still no further answers as to why. Next week, everybody, we return back to the Extinction Curse. Reginald has to be in here somewhere, and there can't be that much space left. Surely, that cannot go on forever. Good old-fashioned dungeon crawls, and what's the worst that could happen
Never
with
say
a couple
it.
of with a couple of
I don't know.
ghoul bites spread around the party? What's the worst that could happen? Thank you for being here, everyone. Thank you for sticking with us through the huge issues today. Hopefully we'll leave this all behind us next Monday. Good night, all. What's the worst that could happen?